Thank you for joining today's webinar on using Facebook with your agent locator products to help drive traffic and generate leads. So in this webinar, I'm going to go over just a couple options and kind of taking on a rundown as to how you can utilize your system, whether you're paying for efforts or you're just manually promoting a listing and things like that. So first and foremost, one thing that you're going to want to have, and especially if you want to be able to promote your ad, and a promoted ad is those ads that say sponsored, which I imagine you see coming across your social feeds. You will want to create a page. Now, I have two Facebook accounts simply because one ad account got shut down, so I had to create another one. So I am actually in a secondary one. Now, there is a way to create a page in here, in this version essentially. It is in the drop down. I can create a page right here. I also have another window open just to show you another version. I don't know why my Facebook showed me two different versions, but on this one here, it actually has the option right here where you can create your page and then the ad as well. So when we get to that point, just keep in mind that you can either create from here, and sometimes it is also in this drop down as well. So first, what I'm going to do is kind of show you what you can do with your branded website. So if you have a branded website with Agent Locator, this means you have a basic template, a semi-custom, a premium semi-custom, or a custom website. Not to say that you cannot add in through the automated site. There is ways to do that, definitely. But a lot of time I find people want to promote their listings, and to be quite honest, because of the way the forced registration works on these sites, where it allows the visitor to look at a few listings before asking their information, it has a little bit more of a positive approach. Whereas these sites here, I'm not saying it's not positive because it is effective. However, by speaking to some realtors, not all, when they're running stuff through this page specifically on a branded Facebook page, such as it has your name, not just like an unbranded Facebook page like you might have like GTA Homes Now, for example, which is all about the real estate, not about you. People are more likely to give their information. Otherwise, sometimes the negative feedback is, oh, you're just fishing for our information. But there are ways around it. And if you need help setting anything up, whether it is your Facebook page, you can do that. And there is actually a cool way in Facebook when you're setting it up in your settings to actually be able to block certain comments on your post. So you can have it'll pick up keywords, so things like spam or fake or whatever, different things like that you don't want other people to see. You can definitely block some of those keywords so those comments don't actually show up. So going back to this site here, the basic site, a lot of people that have a basic or branded site, I should say, not all of you necessarily have lead generation running. Some of you are doing things through your own manual efforts, and that's 100% fine. Everyone's different. Everyone has different budgets, and some people would prefer to do that. So first and foremost, again, you have to create a page. It's more effective, and especially if you want to be able to boost. What I'll do sometimes, some people are like, oh, everything's on my profile. Well, you can invite all your friends to like your page. There is a way to do that, as well as if you feel like it's something on your business page, well, guess what? You can share it onto your profile. So you're never missing out. So for example, if I wanted to share this, I can actually share it. Actually, here I can go back to my profile, so as myself, and then I can actually share it to like on my own profile. So that's kind of a cool thing that you're able to do. So back in here, one of the most common things that a realtor will want to do is advertise their listings. So not everyone has access to graphic designers or has the skill set to make those fancy banners that you see sometimes, and that's okay. Personally, I can't do much of that myself. I use third-party programs, or I literally use Microsoft Paint. So it's, you're not a step behind whatsoever. So typically what would happen is somebody that's coming onto, let's say you have a listing, and I'm just going to select this listing here because it is the first listing. Now, on your website, sometimes you're going to be logged in or not logged in. It doesn't matter. You just simply need to get into that listing. Now, on that listing, you do have a variety of ways that you can actually share it. And if you go into this share one here, there's all these programs that you can utilize to actually share that listing. That is not what I'm going to do in this scenario, but rather what I'm going to do is grab this URL. So all I'm going to do is copy that URL, and on my Facebook page, I am going to go back all the way up to the top so I can create a post, and all I'm doing is pasting that URL. So it's as easy peasy as that. Now, a lot of times when you post, you are not going to see a picture of that listing. That is 100% normal, because when you go like this, and you can now write, so you can add a photo if you want to at this point, but from here you can write whatever you want about that post, add emojis to get people to like check it out. Hot new listing in Burlington. Let's just do like that. And then write whatever you want, but emojis, grabbing things to grab people's attention, needless to say. Now, when you go to post this, and I hope it doesn't make me a liar because it works every other time, when you go to post this, essentially, you have options so people can go. We don't want to get the messages because we actually want them to click on the link in here, but I'm going to actually publish this. So now when we publish, the picture for that listing is essentially going to show up. Now, I'm not sure why it's showing up like this. This is being silly, and I'm just going to delete this. Now, sometimes, I'm just going to tell you right now, is this picture here will be either a small thumbnail, sometimes it'll be a large thumbnail. So what I'm going to do is actually, I don't want to click on that. I want to add a photo. So let's just add a photo. I'm just going to use this one. I don't have the photo for that listing. And I'm still going to add in the link. And it's giving me a hard time, so I am actually going to close this out, discard it, and delete it. Super funny. So I'm just going to delete that one there, and I'm going to actually go into layouts.agent. I'm going to just pull up one that I know is going to produce an image for me. I don't know why that one wasn't doing it. It just likes to give me a hard time because people are watching. So same idea. I'm going to go grab that URL. I'm going to go into, I'm just going to refresh this so that anything that's remaining from that previous post is absolutely disappeared. And that way it will hopefully work. So here, and we got that little URL. It's going to show up here, the preview. It should. So one thing with Facebook, and I may have to, do another one of these, is Facebook is constantly changing. So, literally I was doing this a couple days ago. This was not happening. So I am going to erase this URL. This time I'm not going to write anything. I'm just going to publish it and see what happens here. See if it does exactly what it's supposed to. And there we go. So as you can see, the picture of that listing has now shown for that property. Now, in the previous, you've seen a smaller thumbnail to the left. Sometimes why it does that is the orientation of the image on here. So this might actually have been a smaller image. It wasn't a full landscape image as to why it does that. So, the first image, essentially, if it's a landscape image, it will show up nice and crystal clear like this. So again, you can write whatever you want about this listing. You have the ability then anyone that's engaging in this listing on your feed is going to actually be brought into your website to look at it. So not only are you bringing attention to that property, you're also driving traffic to your website. Now, furthermore, when you have a post on here, you can boost that post. So by boosting a post, you're putting it in front of a larger audience, you know, more eyes essentially, and encouraging more people to click on it. So if I go in and I boost this post, you can definitely do that. Gives you a couple little options here. So send people to your website, get more people to react and comment. So essentially we want people to click on this, right? So we want to get more people to actually do that. If we get engaged, really what this is doing is it's picking the audience. So some people, what Facebook does, and we'll go over this when we're doing ads, is essentially it's doing the same thing. As you can see, nothing really changed with your ad. But what it's doing is Facebook knows which people are more likely to click and which more people are actually just interact with your ad, like it. So you definitely want people to visit your website. So you would want to do the website. Now you can also change the Learn More button if you wish to. There is different things. In this scenario, Learn More is probably fine. You can also have no button if you don't want a button on there. Now, the detailed targeting is what you are wanting to focus on as to who is going to see this boosted ad. So you can do people who like your page, people who like your page and friends, people in your local area, or you can do detailed targeting. So you can be specific. In this case, this listing was in Burlington, I believe. So we can add in Burlington, Ontario. So we do have that. You do have the radius here. If you want people all the way from St. Catharines, you can. Maybe you only want it 20 miles out. You can adjust it so that that small, it goes just a little bit smaller. You can also add multiple areas. You can also do postal codes. So the first 3 digits of a postal code, it will pull up. Now, if you really want to be specific about the people that you feel are more likely to engage in your ad, you can definitely do so. So let's say, first time buyer is like an interest, like a home buyer. People have interest in the home buyer grant, so you can add those things in. You can add in people that are interested in real estate as interest. So this is more or less people that have interacted or have shown interest in real estate. So very, things like that. I'm just going to save this audience and actually going right back in there, which will go is you want to make sure that your audience is defined. Unless you're going after sellers, sellers, you can definitely be a little bit more specific because you're going after a very niche target. Whereas buyers, essentially, it's all about advertising and getting awareness on that listing. So being in front of here means that your ad is going to perform, most optimal. Now, you can do automatic placements with Facebook if you want this to show up everywhere on Facebook that an ad could possibly show. They do recommend it because it gets in front of more eyes, depending. Everyone uses Facebook differently. When I go into the ad section, I'll tell you a little bit more about this and how you can cater it and spend your money a little bit differently. Now you have the duration and budget. So with a boosted post, you get to decide how many days you're going to boost it for, how much you want to spend in total. Typically, Facebook wants you to spend at least $1 a day on your boost. But every time you do this for 10 days, it's basically telling you how many people a day are going to see your ad. So this is not a total budget. This is a daily, this is actually not a daily budget. This is the total budget. So over the course of 10 days, it's going to charge you $20. That would be equivalent to $2 a day. And then it tells you that again. You can install Facebook Pixels to be able to do that. And then basically, if you don't have an ads account, you will create one. When you go to create your first ad, it's not a problem. It will help you. And then you would just simply boost your post. Obviously, I'm not going to boost it. I don't want to boost this post. And when you do boost a post, it will go into review. So Facebook is going to make sure that your ad is compliant. And so it will go into review. If you find any issues where your ad, if they're marking it as not being compliant, just let our team know. They can definitely help you with that. So that's sharing a listing from your website. Another cool way that you can actually share listings is through, where's my thing? So here it is. So through the blog. So blogging is fun for some and not for many. Some of us love to write, and some of us like to think we want to write, but just don't have enough time. But blogging is definitely a great way to help drive traffic to your website. You know, different things, and I put a little article here together, basically saying, you know, your articles don't have to be dry real estate news stuff all the time. It can be community events, you know, real estate news, new rules surrounding real estate. You know, what I most commonly see is realtors just sharing, you know, the National Post, the Globe and Mail, the different news sites, when different new rules come out. Why not put that article into your own words in language that your audience can actually understand? So every time, and especially when you're sharing this on Facebook, every time somebody's sharing or engaging in that post, guess what? They're doing it on your website. So things like that do go a long way. You can add a nice little picture and things like that. So when you add in a blog post, you would do that through your editor. That's another webinar you can watch. But basically, when you have that article up, you just, again, you're grabbing that URL. Now, one thing that does happen from time to time is the wrong picture appears. So let's see what picture. Oh, this one actually shows the right one. Now, sometimes the picture isn't the right picture. It's pulling some other picture from the website, and you're like, well, I don't want that one to show. You could also just remove this and replace it if you wanted to that time. But one thing that Facebook does have is a debugger. Debugger. So if you go in here and you go into the debug, so basically at that point, if you're creating something, a post, and it's producing the wrong image that you know is not supposed to show there, then basically you just throw in that URL and you go debug, and it'll scrape it. And sometimes you have to keep scraping it again until you get the proper image showing. And then once that proper image shows that you know is supposed to be there, then you grab that URL and paste it in Facebook. So same idea as the listings. You can publish this, you can boost it, get it in front of a larger audience, share it onto your profile page, get that traffic into your website looking at those articles to generate more traffic and business, essentially. So that's a couple ways that you can do that. Now, again, essentially, you could use your automated site to do that as well, pulling up a specific listing if you wanted to. When you're doing it on these, this is my logo. So the city doesn't always show. I'm just using Oshawa for this example, and I don't know why you're not auto-filling for me page, but we'll get this listing. We'll get a listing up so that we can see what that looks like. Okay, so we've got the listings now showing for Oshawa. I'm just going to click this very first one. You don't even have to be registered in your website. You basically just want to go view into that listing. And as you can see, again, the URL changed. So again, you can just simply copy that URL, paste that into Facebook. Again, I'm just going to refresh that, and I want to reload. I don't want those saved in there. Same idea. The only difference with this one is the image is smaller, so it's not really as eye-catching. Using the automated site is essentially, in my opinion, better if you're going to be running an ad where you can choose exactly which picture you want to be able to use for that. So I'm just going to try to get this thing to get me the preview, the poll. So here we have that little preview. You can definitely throw in an image. Let's see what happens when we do that. Open, throw in that image. Nothing to do with that. Yeah, so see how that throws that image in? It's not even that. And this is how it would show. It doesn't show nice big picture how you have on the branded site. So you can definitely try doing this if you want to. But again, what we're going to walk through next is actually creating an ad on Facebook and using these automated sites. You can, when you're creating an ad, you can pick pictures, either your own photos that you want to do, or if you're getting to use thousands upon thousands of free use lists or photos that Facebook has to offer. So I'm just going to close that one because I don't want that anymore. So those are just some few ways that you can use your website. Of course, you can also do the same idea with your landing pages that you have in your website as well. So when we are wanting to create an ad on Facebook, now again, I showed you in the other screen, wherever she is, that you do have the create option up here. Sometimes it'll show like this. And in this scenario, apparently I don't have enough friends on this account, so it's telling me I should find some friends. I'm not sure. I'm just kidding. So on here, you do have, you can add and create an ad. So in here, yes, I want to leave that page because I'm not doing that. So once you get into the ads manager, so this kind of puts you into the Facebook business. I'm going to start over on here. There's a lot of different things. Like you have all these tools where you can start creating different audiences. And Facebook, it'll take you some time to learn it. You can create pixels in here. So pixels are a great way to track your conversions by creating pixels. So that's stuff that you can learn down the road while you're going through the creation. It'll also ask you to create a pixel. Our team can add the pixel code to the back end of your website, whether it is a branded, like the full sites, or one of the automated sites. So the first thing that you have is when you land here is your objective, essentially. What's your objective with your ad? So you do have the awareness, so bringing brand awareness or reach. So bringing, brand awareness will likely, people that would be more likely to be interested in your brand. It's more about brand recognition, like little advertise, not to generate you traffic or anything like that. Reach, again, similar idea. It's just about reaching as many people as you can. Nothing to do with like actually converting people. It's just putting it in front of as many people as you possibly can. Now you do have consideration as well. So what this is traffic. So if you're looking to drive traffic to a page that is outside of Facebook, such as a website, that's a good one there. Engagement, this is going to put your ad in front of people that are more likely to engage in your ad. So people that do a lot of clicking, like liking and sharing and things like that. So not necessarily getting you leads, but getting attention to your ad. You do have also app install. So if you have an app that you're wanting to get people to download, that's one way to do it. You can do it through the app installs. If you're wanting to promote a video and getting as many video views as you can to increase your, adjust your algorithms on Facebook, that's one way you can do that as well. If you're looking for leads on Facebook, this actually goes and you do through a lead form on Facebook. Now, Agent Locator does offer Facebook leads. Using this lead form is highly effective when it's done properly. So if you would rather it done properly without spending money trying to figure it out, then by all means, let our team know. They can help you with your Facebook. And then if you're looking for messages, so these are messaging campaigns where you have like a little send message on there, basically encouraging people to send you a message. So you will have conversion. So when you're looking for conversions on your website, conversion is somebody that actually engages and provides information. So whether they create a lead, they sign up on your website. Essentially, catalog sales, again, if you want to sell things, you don't have a store, but that would be essentially what that is, and more or less store traffic as well if you have an online store. So for this case, our objective is going to be conversions. By all means, you can test and try out different ones when you do so. I'm going to go conversions here. When you do it, it's going to naturally give it a campaign name. I'm going to go Conversions Agent Locator just for the sake of it. Now you can do A/B testing. A/B testing is a great way to be able to split test to see what's working and what's not working. So let's say you're running a seller campaign in a specific area or what have you. A split campaign basically could be that your images differ, but the content is the same. Or maybe the images are the same, but what the ad says differs in that scenario, or where they link to changes. So you can change all these things. When you are doing split tests, it can get a little costly for Facebook to be able to accurately distinguish for you, because they're going to make the suggestion, this ad is better than that ad. As well, you'll be able to see it, but they'll tell you which one performs better. And sometimes you have to be running it with a decent amount of money for them to give you 100% accurate results. So, entirely up to you. It is recommended if you are intending on doing some long-term campaigns, though. So let's just go in here. We're going to set up the ad account and go from there. And I don't need to set up because I am actually already got an ad account. So let me just throw it in. Look at this page. Now I'm going to have to do that again 10 times. All right, so we're going to go back to conversions. And conversions, Agent Locator, and continue. So here you can actually create multiple ad sets. Again, multiple ad sets allow you to create variables in your ad set. So basically it's the same ad, but you can change different target and demographic. So there's a lot of different components. It's very similar to split testing, just slightly different as to what you can change in there. Now you do have the ability to select your ad set name. These names, basically, when you do it, you want to do it something that you're going to remember what your ad set is called. So let's just do this one where I'm just going to call it Oshawa Buyers Campaign. And then you could always put a date as well. I'm just going to say it's June 10th, 2019. And the reason why you want to be a little bit more specific is because when you do Facebook a little bit more often, being able to see, the days, the months, the stuff what you're running, and perhaps some months you have better results than others, and also being able to pull up those campaigns in the past that okay, oh, what month was it that I had that really awesome campaign going for, whatever. Having that there is just going to help you a little bit more. Now you do have the conversion event. Basically, you have the pixels. These, if you are creating a pixel, will go red because they haven't actually done, nothing's triggered yet on this. And here you do have the ability to set up those conversions. So you can actually go through the steps here to create the pixel. Again, you can get it all sent off to you. It's pretty, standard advanced, and it will basically, you want people to description, let's go, let's say even like view content, article, let's see, do it that way, and then you can email the instructions to yourself. And let's go back and let's see, track custom conversions. So you actually would probably be better off doing this one because you want it to be the URL of your website. So URL contains anything that goes on that website and converts, essentially. So basically registering, and you can select a category on there as well. You'd want to lead, and then you just go next, and it will create that pixel for you. And again, we will put that on the site. So different things like this. This dynamic creative, what it does is it'll basically create different ad sets and kind of mix and utilize what you have there already to just kind of test it out to see, okay, does this one work better with this one, this content, or does this image work better with this content, and kind of mixes all the information, different audiences and things like that to see which is going to be the most effective. For this purpose, we're not going to turn that on. We don't have any audience or offers at this point. If you have an offer, you can create an offer with your ad, essentially. Now, here we're going to want to create our audiences. Now, you can create new audiences. Some of you, if you've done this, you may have saved audiences that you already have. So here we can create a custom audience. In here, you can create a new audience if you want to in there. But in this case, what we're going to do is we're just going to filter in here. So for this scenario, let's pretend that we are looking for, what did we create the title? Did we put it as Oshawa? I think it's the Oshawa buyer campaign. So let's just call this, so we want everyone in Oshawa for one. Ontario. So as you can see, this radius is growing. So people that are in Los Angeles, so everyone in this location, people who live in this location, people who recently were in this location, people traveling in this location. Essentially, you would want everyone in this location for this type of ad. If you are running a seller's campaign, you probably would want people who live in that location for that to be able to effectively market to those people in that area. Now you can definitely add more cities if you want to. You will want to likely adjust your demographical age of people who are more likely going to be able to buy a house. So you can do it at 23 to 65 plus, men and women in that area. Now, one thing that you can do is you can identify languages. So what I've noticed when I've run these ads, and it's very few and far between, but I will get somebody that responds to my ad, and I'll have like a messenger ad, and it'll be in like Hebrew or something, or in Espanol. And I know very little Spanish, so I don't know how to communicate, and I just say, sorry, I can't help you, I don't understand. So you can definitely, if you want to, just do English all, but also if you are, fluent in other languages, because some people will browse social media in that other language, right? They download the whatever version, or they change the version of it, so they're still seeing your ad if you don't indicate this. If you could care less, by all means, leave it open. If you want to be specific, then by all means. Now, if you're running this ad, you can target everyone that lives in that area if you wanted to. Right now, it's telling you that based on your one-day click conversion window, which we'll go into, you're looking at 312 to 1.8 thousand reach conversion. This is obviously the conversions, more or less people clicking into your ad. Now, this number isn't always accurate, so don't be discouraged if you're not getting 67 hits or more or whatever into your website. It's not always 100% accurate, so don't, it is a grain of salt, essentially. So here you can be more specific about your audience. So if you want people that are interested in real estate, again, for example, if I can know how to spell real estate. So there's interest, so you can do that. People who are expressing interest in or like pages related to real estate. So that's a good one if they are interested in that. There's ones that you can do like interest in real estate investing, people who have expressed interest in that. So if you're creating an ad that's kind of targeted toward people investing, because some of the properties in Oshawa are fairly, some of them still are fairly decent price for investors. So a lot of different things that you can do in here. What I recommend doing is, picking, if you're going to do this, pick 1 to 3 tops of those things, of those interests, simply because if you're wanting to measure your performance of your ad after the fact to see what was effective and what wasn't, if you have 4, 5, 6, even having the 2 on there, when you are evaluating that down the road, it's going to be hard to determine which interest was the one that was gaining the best results, right? Because it's all just one ad. So even if you created 4 different ads, for example, each of them having a different interest, you can go broad and general and then more specific if you want to, depending on what it is. Like a broad would be, people that are interested in real estate, and then something that's more specific is someone that, let's say is there like Property Brothers or HGTV, something like that, where people have an interest in the shows on HGTV. So you can get really specific if you think about that. Depending on the type of people that you're aiming for to engage in your ads. Some people will leave this open because they just want everyone to see it. So entirely up to you. Now you can save that audience if you want to save it. If you feel like you're going to use it at a later date, by all means, you can definitely do that. Now, when it comes to placements, you have automatic placements and you can edit your placements. Depending on what your budget is, the majority of your traffic is going to be coming from mobile. When you look at any stats, and by all means, run an ad with automatic placements. When you look at the results of that ad, you're going to notice that the majority of interest was on mobile. But so if you want to kind of stretch your dollars so that it's only pushing to people that are on mobile, you can. And basically you just edit that. So you can actually select, I don't want desktop people. And so for here, basically, I want it to go on Instagram. Do I want it to be, like, if it's not even a video, you don't really need that in there. Do you want it to show up in the messenger? Like in the inbox when people are scrolling, do you want your ad to show on there? Do you want it to show in the stories? These two are actually, when I post any ad, despite where they are, they do get attention. So entirely up to you if you put it there. The Instagram, if you're, it's going to put people on Instagram as well. Surprisingly enough, when you run ads through Instagram, your audience on Instagram, your followers actually start to grow. So it kind of comes, a little bit handy in that sense. And then of course on Facebook. Now, do you want it in the stories? Do you want it in the marketplace? Do you want it in suggested video? In-stream videos, it's not really a video, so to kind of show you just a listing, if you're not posting a video, it doesn't make sense to go there. Definitely you would want it in the feeds. So different things like that, you can definitely, pick and choose where you want it to go, or just leave it open and Facebook's going to spread it across where they feel people are most likely going to look into it. Now, what's even, fun is that you can actually select, you'd be like, I don't like iPhone users. I'm just kidding. But you can actually specify which devices that they're using, whether it's an Android or an iOS, which is kind of unique. And that's essentially from there. Now, here it's going to ask you about your budget and how much you're going to want to spend. Some people, they put in, it really depends on what the purpose of this ad is for. If you feel like this is an ad that you're going to be running because you're running an ad just to drive traffic to your site for people to look at, like, all the listings, or on the automated lead gen site where you want more people to register, that would likely be an ad that you would continue to run ongoing. It has no end date in sight. Keep in mind, if it does not have an end date, you can turn your ad off. Doesn't mean that it has to keep running. So when you are running any kind of ad on Facebook, you can set your daily budget as to, whatever you're comfortable spending every single day. As you adjust that daily budget, you're going to notice your reach is changing on that daily budget. So just keeping that in mind as well. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to spend that whole amount every single day. It's just you're giving Facebook that budget to work with on a daily basis. Now, again, here you schedule it. You can run your ad continuously starting today, or you can end a start and end date. Now, this is good if you're advertising a listing, and perhaps you want to, have, in that case, you would probably have a lifetime budget of how much you want to spend during that, that time. So naturally, it's going to default to, basically a week's out. How you're running it, again, entirely up to you. How much you want to spend to advertise that specific listing, and just keeping in mind how many people are actually seeing that ad on a daily basis. You don't want to, have this as a very low number. It's not going to be too effective. So kind of keeping it very, moderate if you're running it for a week. Let's say if you wanted to run it for a week to really promote, or you just wanted to run it on going into the listing sales, you can do that. You just have to remember to go in there and shut it off, obviously, when you're done. Sometimes what I like, and especially if you're going to do an ongoing ad, is to do the ongoing rather than having the ad set continuously running today. Because if your ad, let's say you're running a seller's campaign trying to generate seller's lead, and you put a start and end date, and that campaign is well, you would essentially have to start all over again, because you put an end date on that, and you would have to recreate that ad. And sometimes the second time around, it's not going to perform like it did the first time. So keeping in mind, if you can run your ad continuously, you can always turn it off if you decided that it's just not working for you. So entirely up to you how you do that. We are looking for conversions, essentially. The conversion windows is basically how many days, or how much, how many days before they view, before they click and register, essentially. So we'll often, depending on what it is, a lot of the times it is a one-day click. The first day they get in, they're going to click, they're going to register, right? They're not going to keep going back to that website. So one-day click. Often you'll see the lowest bid. You can just kind of leave it at that. And then you're going to get charged per impression, delivery type, and then we're going to continue. So as we're going through this list, you're going to see that this is all changing. So if you ever need to jump back up to that section, you have that capability to do so. Now from here, we're going to actually start building the ad that you are going to want to create. So everyone is different as to what they want to do. Now, one thing that's cool is that you can either create an ad or you can use an existing post. So if you, and that goes right here. So if you wanted to use an existing post, for example, that you had created, you just go into the select the post and you pick which one it is. Now these are all posts apparently from another page that I have. So I'm just going to, let's just click that one and go continue. So that one there, it literally just pulls up the post that you had previously done. So that's kind of cool if you want to be able to do that. It's easy peasy. Essentially, you don't really have to do anything. You just kind of post it like that. Now, if you want to, you can create a new one, of course, as well. You can also change what that says if you want to. Then what's the point? You might as well just, the reason why you may want to do use existing posts, if you had a great post with, let's say a listing, and you put one of the listings from your website and you got a lot of likes, shares, things like that, that will naturally show up in the ad as well. It'll also it'll show people right away that there has been people interested in interacting with that ad already. So that is, if you want to use your existing post, but you can definitely create an ad as well. Now in here, you can create and connect things to your, what is this called? Instagram. So you can connect to Instagram so that things that you post are showing up on Instagram, your account associated. People can start following you. Instagram is on here because Facebook does own Instagram as well. I do have different pages. So this one is on the one's showing that one. This page, that's okay. We kind of steered away from the agent locator just for this advertising purpose. Now, the format of your ad is entirely up to you. The most commonly used ones will be the image or video, is what I find. Most people want to use that video or an image. That is where people are more likely to engage. The carousel is great if you're showcasing, let's say, a bedroom and you have a little description and learn more, and then this and a little. It's more or less for product. I find it's more effective when you have product. The collection basically is kind of like a full free mobile experience. Not typically used for this, what you would typically use for real estate. So when we go in here, you can definitely choose to do a video or a slideshow. So if you are doing a slideshow, it's going to ask you to create, I think it's 4 to 10 images, and it'll just kind of slide them all together. You can add little background music if you want to. I'm trying to get people to engage in that. So that's cool. You can also upload a video as well if you want to. Or you can just use an image. Now, you do have the ability to upload images. You also have the ability to utilize free stock photos as well. So if you go into the stock photos, it's actually run through Shutterstock. So Shutterstock has a ton of stuff. So let's just see if Oshawa. Is there anything in Oshawa on here on Shutterstock? So maybe we want to use a map. Now that's a great way. Colorful map. You can select up to 6 images. Each image is considered a different ad set. And what happens is it'll still be the same content in your ad. It's just from time to time, let's say I saw your ad 3 times. Each 3 times could actually potentially have a different image associated with it. So up to you if you want to use one or several. But I'm just going to use this little map so people know kind of what it is in there. Now, as you can see on the right-hand side, you are going to have the little map. You can pick your display URL, the headline there, and obviously you probably want it to say something. So here is your text that you're going to want to utilize. So you can do something that is going to grab your audience's attention. So perhaps to say, hottest listings in Oshawa, updated every 2 hours. Update. And you can even do homes starting at, and then you can even go into your lead gen site or website, however you're setting this up, and search. Let's go back here because that site is just taking too long for me. So I'm just going to go Oshawa. I'm going to do that, and I'm just going to show the results, and then I'm going to go the lowest cost first. So the lowest cost, I can't see this one, but I can see this one as being $189.9. Okay, so and if you want to do, if you're doing homes, did I put homes in that ad? Where did I go? Updated homes starting at, so maybe we want to do a home, which is $199, so really not too far off. So $199, so home starting at $199. That's a great starting at $199. So, and you can even add little emojis and things like that in here. For whatever reason, and I'm not sure why they don't show you in here that you can do that. But one thing you can do is if I go to my page, let me just go on to this one. So one thing that I've learned is that you can go into, just open up your Facebook page in another window, and you can grab these emojis and actually use them in your ad. So it does work. It will show up. See? So it's kind of cool that you can do that. Bringing stars. Again, you want to bring the attention to eyes into your ad. So the next thing you're going to go is the URL that you want to promote. So the URL in this case, let's just use, I want Oshawa. So on this one, it's already just any Oshawa listings. This is the lead gen site. Again, you can do that with this site. Same idea. You're just grabbing that whole URL. Okay. Now from here, you just simply post that in there. Now it's going to show something kind of funny in here. It's taking a while because it's like, holy smokes, Crystal, what did you just give to me? Now you can change it. So here we have training.lead gen agent locator. You can actually decide which URL you want to show there. So maybe I want www.buywithcrystal. Okay, crystal.com. That's not my actual domain, but essentially you may want to use your domain that people will see that. Now you have search homes for sale. That is the headline that is coming in right there. It's actually pulling it from the website. Now you do have the learn more, so you can go there. If you want to change this search homes for sale, you can definitely do so. That's entirely up to you if you do that. The newsfeed link description is actually going to show up under this here. Now keep in mind this view right here that it's defaulting to is the mobile feed. So you can definitely see the different ways that your ad shows, where the link description. You can do different things like that. You can go like search like a realtor. Search like a realtor. On there. Search like a realtor. You can change that. So you can just play around with those, you know, search homes for sale, search like a realtor. Probably I wouldn't have those two things side by side. So the news, the headline there, that's what's going to change here. So if I go by the Crystal Homes, listings always update. So as you can see in the thing right there, it changed right there. The listing's up to date. I'm in the Facebook in-stream. If I go to, where is my, showing me the mobile newsfeed. Why? Oh, because I turned off the desktop. That's why. So in the desktop, so this will show search like a realtor. And you kind of go like that. You go through the different things. You can definitely change these aspects around. And then basically you are going to confirm it. Now I'm not going to confirm it because I don't actually want to run this ad, but you will want to review it. So when you do review it, basically it's going to go through the title, what the campaign is called, who your target audience is. You're also going to, you know, basically the default name, the heading, headline, haunted listings, and the image, and then you would confirm it, and then it goes into review. So again, making sure that you are compliant with Facebook, not discriminating against anyone, obviously, and not trying to lure them in too much. So to learn more, when you do advertise this and this is running, the learn more is going to show, and when they click it, it's going to actually bring them into this page or this page, wherever you have it set up so that you're driving that audience there. So that really is the Facebook webinar. Once you kind of go in and you confirm all this, basically you can go into your ads manager and you'll be able to see, just going to go back into my ads manager. I didn't want to save that, so I'm going to see if it'll actually bring me in there, because it will give you a dashboard of your different activities. And this is something, again, totally you have to be able to understand, and you will understand over time how it all works, and being able to see your links and how many clicks you got on things, how many videos. One thing with your page as well, when you kind of go into it, and I'm just going to go back into my Facebook, is you will have different insights with your Facebook page. So if you are boosting posts and different things like that, if you go into, I think it's your ad center, I always go through here and it might be the wrong one. No, I don't want that. I want my insights. So if I go into my post, for example, I'll be able to see the insights on my posts. If I've been doing that, if it's a video, you know, what's just happening with that video. And for example, when you are doing, it's going to tell you if you've got a promotion if you want to boost it. There are different measuring tactics when you are using Facebook as to what you should be looking for and whether or not you should boost a post again. So Facebook doesn't, when you are using Facebook for your real estate, it doesn't always have to be real estate related. Try to relate to your audience that you are looking to attract. So it doesn't always have to be about this. It could be about your day and things that you do or things you recommend to the people that are engaging, you're engaging with on the site. So one thing that we will kind of promote or notice is that if your organic and your paid are very similar in number and the campaign stop, boost it again. That's a good result that, which means that organic could be people who like your page, but it's also those people that are sharing it from the advertisement. So that's free advertising when somebody shares it. So that's considered organic at that point. This one here, for example, I have a lot of shares on this one. So the 693 is my paid, but the 413 is all organic through the shares. So definitely that one's still running. And other things that you're going to watch for is if you do have a video that you are running. For example, I'll go into this one here, is watching your metrics. Facebook is watching and their algorithms are strategically working your account. So what your goal is essentially is you want your average watch time to be about 10 seconds long if you are doing a video. On average, you have basically can watch where you're dropping. So if you're creating videos with your audience and you're doing this, this is a good tool to see where you're losing your audience, where they are actually watching and engaged in your video that you're creating, and where it seems like all of a sudden they just kind of like dropped off to nothing. So definitely that's something that you can use and things that you can use and utilize all the time. But use your Facebook page, with association with your real estate, run ads, you leverage your website that you have to help drive traffic and generate leads, but also connect with your audience. You want your page not to just be about real estate, again, motivational stuff, different things like that. You might see some on here where it's just, it's just fun. It's nothing to do. I'm not trying to sell anyone anything. I'm giving them advice. I do have some offers on here, but it's really trying to engage in the audience and get them to interact with your stuff without always trying to sell them, because people want to relate to you, and that's where you're going to get the best results, is when you find those audiences of people that essentially are drawn to you just through what you're doing. And if you notice, if you watch anyone on Facebook, people get drawn to someone because of the way that they are and the way that they act. A lot of times those people, they are selling something to you and you don't even know what it is, but you just really like them. And then one day you might be like, hey, what do you do for a living? Things like that. So in your case, you're, different aspects that throw in real estate in the mix is obviously people know that you are real estate, but making it fun and interactive and engaging for your audience will not only build your audience, but will get you business that it just naturally comes to you. That's called attraction. So if you need any help with your Facebook whatsoever, please do reach out. You can reach me directly through email. It's crystal@agentlocator.ca. You can also reach out to support as well if you're having any issues with the images not showing up properly on Facebook or something funky is happening. And they can definitely be reached at support@agentlocator.ca. So thanks for watching, and if you do need any kind of reiteration on certain aspects of this webinar, so whether it's to do with the website or the ad campaigns, by all means reach out. I'd be more than happy to help you. Thanks for watching.